Cincinnati, but you all come from all over the country, and I appreciate it very much. Rick just mentioned about 6,500 Corvettes. I just passed 6,500 Corvettes I delivered, so I think I'm going to... The guys at GM always say, well, why don't you help us with the other cars? And I'm like, I've got over 8,000 others I've sold. So, like, Tom Morris bought a Silverado from me. This guy right here has bought about 90 vehicles from me in 15 years. Just a couple. Yeah. His name's Tim Tabb. Look for him on the track. He'll be driving number 142 now. He's been out here 3 or 4 or 5, 6, 7 times. And his daughter Amy. Amy's a hell of a driver. She's probably the only person in this entire room that has raced a sub-6 second quarter-mile drag strip. And live to tell about it. You can go to YouTube. Now, she's a hell of a driver. She's going to be driving in this Z06 class tomorrow. And you're in the stage 2 or level 2. Yep. So I started doing this probably 10, 11 years ago. I've been coming out here since 08, 09, and with GM stuff and Callaway. And 80% of my business is out of state. I never get to meet the folks. And so that was bothering me. And so I went to Todd, who's head of marketing, and I asked him if I filled the class, could I come out and join everybody? And he said, sure. And then it became twice, 3 times, 4 times, 6 times a year. And I was getting a little old to be taking a plane 6 times a year across the country. I'm in Maryland. So I decided to try to do it twice a year, the first week of April and the first week of October, 3 classes. So I've been here since Friday. I've had other customers here Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday and Tuesday, today and yesterday, we had a full class of 18. And we were fortunate enough, 4 guys from the plant tried to surprise me, and I already knew they were coming. And but the plant manager was here actually for 2 days. This guy runs a plant that's 44 acres under roof, 2 million square feet. So for him to take 2 days off and come here is incredible. And so we were very appreciative to have 4 guys from the plant here. I've had a lot of different folks from different walks of life. No one like Bill Lucan, but everybody tries to be like Bill Lucan. I do not want to take Bill Lucan home with me. But clearly, you know, Corvettes are, it's a passion for me. I mean, I've owned 25 Corvettes, 44 muscle cars, and in July I started my 47th year doing this, selling Corvettes. So just a couple days. I don't even know what that is in days. Anybody got a calculator? Too many. But I write a blog, it goes up on the forums and whatnot. I get about 100,000 views a week. I don't do it for clicks. I don't get paid for it. I just do it because I love Corvettes. I post old pictures of Corvettes, and I get a lot of... About 100,000 views a week is just incredible. And I always kid with the owner of the dealership. It really costs him basically nothing. It's about $850, probably a month in advertising. And back in the day, back in the 90s, it was $22,000 for a 1-page ad in the Washington Post. Where do you think that's gone now? They don't need to do it anymore. That's just one Saturday, $22,000. You don't need to do it anymore, obviously. The world's changed a little bit. Many years ago, I ran a small country Chevrolet dealership. And I'll never forget, General Motors came to me and had a picture of a map and put a pin on our dealership. And he drew a circle around that pin, a 7-mile radius. And he said, that was my area of concern. What do you think the internet did to that over the last 30 years? It's just, it blows my mind. I like to tell the story that last year, I delivered 5 Corvettes to residents in Hawaii. I delivered 6 Corvettes and Camaros to Bainbridge Island, which is 8 miles off the coast of Seattle. And I always say, do you know how many Chevrolet dealerships they passed to get to me? All of them. True story. hates when I put him on the spot. I can hear the grumbling. But December about 10th, 2009, I get a phone call at 8 o'clock at night. And it's an Italian guy, I think, from New York. I can recognize the accent. And he goes, "You still got that ZR1 for sale?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's got about 800 miles. It's silver. It's up at our used car building. You're going to get a call tomorrow at 10. Click." That was it. So the next day at 10 o'clock, I'm waiting. I know this phone call's coming. It was just too good to be true. And Tim calls. Literally, right at 10 a.m. And he goes, "You still got that ZR1 for sale?" And I said, "Yes." I said, "It's silver. It's up at our used car department. It's got about 800 miles. Used? I don't buy used." That's a true story. So I said, "I've got a brand new yellow ZR1. It's sitting right next to my desk." I said, "It's 4 feet away." He says, "It's yellow?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "I'll take it." So he comes down that Saturday with you, right? It is, she came to the black one. We'll get to the black one. So 2 weeks later, I get a phone call from the manager, and the manager says, "Hey, Mike, we got an allocation for January, and it's Christmas time. Do you know anybody that wants a ZR1 to build?" And I said, "Well, let me call Tim up and see if he knows somebody in Long Island," because he said there's hard times to get Corvettes there. And I said to Tim, "I got a Corvette to build, a ZR1. Do you know of anybody, any of your friends looking for a ZR1? And he goes, "What color is it?" I said, "It can be any color you want." He says, "Can it be black?" And I said, "Yes." He goes, "I'll take it." I said, "What's wrong?" I said, "What's wrong with the yellow one?" He goes, "Nothing, I want to build." One to drive and one for his collection. So I was able to get him a tour of the plant. He went through the plant and watched his car get built. And it was on a Thursday, Friday. And he was literally like an 8-year-old kid on Christmas morning. He stayed the weekend because the car wasn't finished until Monday morning for like another 47 minutes. And he said to me, he called me up and says, "That's probably the best experience I've ever had in my entire life. Going through the Corvette plant was just amazing." And he thanked me. And then he started sending me customers. And he started buying trucks for his business and family vehicles and Camaros and Corvettes. And I think it's somewhere around 90 in the last 15 years he's bought trucks. Right? He bought 5 Camaros from me in about a 60-day period. It was a lot. It's like I was seeing him every Friday at 7 a.m. I'd meet him at the dealership. He leaves his house at 2 in the morning. It's a 5-hour ride. And I'd meet him at the dealership. I'm off Friday, but I can meet him at 7 a.m. And he'd put it in the trailer, he'd give me a check, and boom, gone. In and out. So, but every one of you basically are my customers in this room, and I appreciate every one of you. Everybody has a different story. I always like to tell Tim's story because the way it all started, it just doesn't happen like that. It doesn't happen in sales in anything. It doesn't matter what you're selling. But I know Tom Morris wants to talk for a second. You got a second, Tom? Sure. Tom Morris works in the Washington Capitals in the TV and radio booth, and I always put him on the spot because he was able and very fortunate to get a Stanley Cup ring when the Washington Capitals won. But he's been a good friend and a good customer, and here he is.
Not putting me on the spot, I didn't know I was speaking tonight. But actually, real quick, the only thing I wanted to say was we all have Corvette stories. Mike's he can tell you what's the best match, or what's on constraints, or how long the wait's going to be, and you come out to his shop and you can pick up the car there or ship it out to you. But the best thing about it, Mike knows everything about Corvettes, but what I always say is Mike's a great person. And the reason I just want to say today is Mike's really a great person. Forget the cars, how long your wait is, or they don't have this color or this constraint. He's a great person. I've seen Mike, he's kind of groomed my daughter a little bit, who runs my business for me, and she's 29 now. The two of them talked back when she just got out of college about marketing and networking, because she just got into social media. And, you know, as I said, Mike, you know, talked to her about that. And Mike and I text and talk almost every other day, and it's about kids and family and dogs and the weather. We never talk about Corvettes. And really, like, when I place my cars or my truck with Mike, it's a 2-minute conversation, it's done, and we go on about something else. But really the only thing I wanted to say was Mike's a great guy. He's an ambassador for GM and for the Corvette industry, and actually cars in general, but it's the person that he is. So I just want to say that. And thanks, Mike.
The other thing about Tom is he knows I never ask anybody for a deposit, but he's on a first name basis with our guy that collects deposits, because he likes giving the guy $500 here, $1,000 there, $700 there. So by the time he orders his car, he's got like $29,000 down already. Yeah, oh, for GM points too, but it's pretty funny. He actually is better friends with the guy that works at my dealership than I am. And I'm the one that introduced him. So, but we have fun. I try to make it fun. Everybody says to me, what do you owe your success to? How do you do it? And, you know, I was a general manager for 23 years, and all I say is that I do everything that I taught all the employees that I hired. And I always say this to Rick, you have two types of employees, ambassadors and assassins. And it's my job to get rid of the assassins or not hire them. And it's my job to pick up and lift up the ambassadors. And that's what it's all about. That's all I do, or try to do. And I said this the other night I just said, I can't sell everybody. I can't. And everybody always asks, how come, why should I buy from you? They don't have enough time. I can't tell you how many people I've helped outside of the deal on so many other parts of the deal, whether it's you know, reaching out to, you know, GM in Detroit or at the Bowling Green plant. You know, I have a lot of people's phone numbers that can help, but and I don't mind helping, but it's a two-way street. It always is, and I appreciate when people appreciate what I do for them. So that means the most to me, really. I'm going to hand the microphone back over to Mr. Malone, Rick Malone, and all the driving instructors here.
Thank you, Mike. Hey, who's excited about driving tomorrow? Yeah. Who's nervous about tomorrow? Yeah. That's all right, so am I, right? No. Let me tell you something about these instructors that's going to work with you in the next couple of days. In my opinion, they're the best you're going to find in the country. You're going to find out that they're kind, personable, knowledgeable, patient. But the most important part, they really care that you learn. Within that first hour, they will have you nice and relaxed in that